Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
On this, the 24th anniversary of September 11, 2001, I can't believe it's been that long, we remember those and the lives that are lost as we commemorate the tragic events, once again, of 9/11. Godspeed to everyone. God bless America. And welcome back, everyone. I'm Rich Mancuso. This is Keep It in the Ring for this Thursday edition of September 11th, 2025. Yeah, it's good to be back in the saddle. It's been a long summer. Quick, went by. Boxing calendar was a little slow with some fights, but they've been filling in. A little while, my esteemed colleague and great friend, who helps put this show together with me every week, Tommy D, back here. And let me tell you what's going on and what we've been doing. You know, it's been that type of summer. I've been busy at the ballpark, as everyone knows who follows me on social media, facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. Also at X, at Ring786, formerly Twitter, and then on Instagram and latinosports.com, where most of my content can be read. We're revamping Keep It in the Ring, and in the weeks ahead you'll see more of that. And you'll start probably by next week seeing a new show. Tommy D will host, I will join him, sports show. Baseball, football, soccer, you name it, and I'll be a contributor at least to the end of the baseball postseason, where I am very much involved. But I want to thank you all for being back with us. It's been that type of a summer. The boxing calendar, again, was slow, but boy, has it picked up. And Keep It in the Ring will have it for you here, live on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, like the Keep It in the Ring page, and comment. We want you to comment. We want to hear from you here on the program each and every week, and during the course of the week when we're not live, comment. We want to hear from you. Welcome back, everyone. It's good to be back to talk boxing, my great passion of a sport, along with baseball, of course, as everyone knows. So, the summer's over, as I said. The fight calendar has been filling in. And we're going to take a look this week at, and a big emphasis on this show in the next hour or so, Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford, the fight of the decade, the mega fight anticipated. It's finally here. And we will have two guests in the panel, former world champion and a current contender, joining me on the program in a little while with me and Tommy D, and we're going to go over the fight, analyze what we think is going to happen, and so forth. It's going to be on Netflix, as you know. If you have it, you'll enjoy it. But let's take a look at the calendar that's been filling in while I was away, because it's been, as we all know, an exciting 2025 in the sport of boxing. Championship fights, the Turk guy changing the spectrum of the whole sport over there in Saudi Arabia, bringing him here to the United States, around the globe, New York City, Las Vegas. So here's a brief look, real brief, of what's coming ahead. Of course, we'll analyze as we go along in the weeks and months to come this fall and winter here on Keep It in the Ring. We'll look at David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde, light heavyweight title up for grabs in Saudi Arabia, Benavidez title defense. On that card, Brian Norman, Devin Haney. That's going to be a good one. Arturo Beterbiev doesn't get Dimitri Bivol again, but he's going to move on. Mateus on that card. Abdullah Mason, the young, exciting fighter at a top rank. And Fernando Martino. So that's going to be a good one, all on the Zone pay-per-view. Of course, Top Rank still without a streaming network. They are working on something, but we don't have anything that's been finalized. And you're going to have Sebastian Vendura and Keith Thurman, a fight I'm looking forward to. We hope to have Thurman on the program as that fight nears in. At 154, of course, that Keith Thurman-Vendura fight was supposed to happen, but Tszyu got involved. Vendura won the title, and now it's him and Keith Thurman. Thurman wanted this fight. They got it. They had the press conference last week. And you know what? Foster and Fulton on that card as well. That's going to be a good one. Danny Garcia's final homecoming, final fight in his favorite place to fight, going to happen at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, October 18th. That at 154. Will this be Garcia's last hurrah? It all depends. Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis, this on Netflix. Going to be a money grab, but that's all this is. Why, oh why, is Gervonta Davis fighting Jake Paul? Well, $40 million as it is will get Gervonta Davis in the ring with Jake Paul, who likes to make fighters money. That's happening. That's a farce. Interesting to see what weight they're going to go at, because Paul is not a lightweight. $40 million, though, that's not a lightweight full of money. He's going to get it. Then we're going to have this. Why, oh why, is Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, why are they having an exhibition in the spring of next year? That's been announced. Saturday night, Inoue defends his featherweight title, and that's not on ESPN. And he's always been on ESPN. Instead, you could watch that Top Rank's YouTube network. Jerome Boutsenis in Philadelphia, another homecoming for the champion, a title defense at 154 in Philadelphia, October 11th. Joseph Parker, Fabio Wardley on the zone, heavyweight title implications, October 25th. Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Erickson Lubin, November 8th on the zone at 154, they'll pay the weight limit. November 15th, the rematch, anticipated in the UK. Chris Eubanks and Conor Benn will go at it again. That the rematch based off their first one. Also, Teofimo Lopez says at 140, and it's just about been said according to The Ring and Mike Coppinger, Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez will clash at some point early in the new year. There are a whole ton of other fights that have been set on the calendar. I got through some of the major ones, but you know, when you look at it, boxing's healthy and strong. And when you look at all the names and the marquee fighters that are coming up ahead this fall and into the winter, boxing is very strong. Despite the skepticism about a sport that's always in controversy, you look at the calendar ahead, my friends, and you see how strong boxing is. You're not seeing it on the national TV networks, of course. They have no interest in boxing. They got everything else going on. But the streaming networks, where you got to go. Paying out of your pocket is where you got to go. The Turk guy, of course, Eddie Hearn, they're keeping it busy. Queensbury in the UK, a lot of fights there. It is a full fight calendar, and it starts with Inoue this weekend as well. Let me see what other great fights you can look at. I think I got through most of them. Maybe you know some more that I bypassed. But every day, when you look on your social media handles, every day, when you check the fight calendar, you see more and more major fights on the schedule. That's good for the sport, my friends. And if you're a boxing fan as much as I am, and Tommy D and everyone else, you got to love it. It's boxing at its best. It's healthy and it's strong. Which brings us to Saturday night. The anticipated and much anticipated, much hyped fight, decade fight, as they're saying, fight of the decade. It's Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford. The mega fight finally here, believe it or not, on Netflix at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. There'll be over 67,000 fans there in attendance. We'll break some type of attendance gross record at the gate and probably rivals some of the major pay-per-views on the zone pay-per-view, of course. Here you go. 72.2 million for Mayweather and Pacquiao back in 2015 in Vegas. And of course, Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather Jr. top 55.4 million. And now we have this. This fight will probably come in third, but it might rival one of the other two as far as the all-time gross made when you counter the gate, the pay-per-view on the zone, and everything else. Now, Dana White and the Turk guy put this together, TKO Endeavor. This is Dana White's first venture into promoting a professional boxing show. And boy, did he pick a good one. We know the fireworks happened in the last press conference or two in New York months ago when this was first announced. But this should be the third largest gate in boxing history, next to those other two fights that I had previously mentioned. And the undercard is also interesting. I don't know. I had heard, I don't think it's happening, that they were going to do it separately, but they're going to have a great undercard, a fight to look forward to. Colleen Walsh, Fernando Vargas Jr., Christian Mabelli will be on it. It's TKO, Sella, the Turk guy, and the ring, and the new ring expensive title belt on display in Las Vegas this week. to a little while. They're going to have a final press conference tomorrow, the weigh-in. I think, Tom, behind the scenes, are going to bring you in a moment. We have an image maybe of that new type. The winner will get it. There's the undercard, and there's the title belt. Of course, tightly guarded. There it is. That's what the Turkey wants. That's what Dana White wanted. They got it. You're going to see it being presented to the winner of this mega fight. All right, Tommy D, let me bring you in, my friend. Welcome back, my friend, and thanks for last week getting things kick-started for the fall and the winter. How was your summer? I can't hear him. Tom? Tom, I can't hear you for some reason, and I know it's not me.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Of course, we come back and we have a glitch. Isn't that expected?
No, but it's summer's been good. July we were spoiled a little bit of June we were spoiled, but August kind of slowed down. Kind of I guess everybody got a break. Not really many.
I didn't get a break. You know where I was at the ballpark most of the time, keeping track of those Mets and Yankees and everything else, and I'm still doing that. But Tom, welcome back, my friend. It's good to have you back in the saddle with me as always.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I tried to kick it off last week. I brought in one of my favorite guys and prospects, Keith Colon, coming on, and he gave me a big shout out as well. And you just spoke earlier about the Danny Garcia card in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
he's going to be fighting on that card. So
yeah,
I'll be there. I'll definitely be there.
So will I. Keith Colon is a great friend of the program. He always does us well here, and we're going to wish him luck, and we'll have him on again prior to fight time weeks before. All right, so now we have to get to the attention of the big one. Let's you and I analyze it at first. Two fighters. Two of the supreme fighters in the sport. Many would say best pound for pound 1 and 2. May not be that way as it is now. But for the undisputed titles at 168 of the Canelo Álvarez, who looks to continue his legacy. Terence Bud Crawford says it's not about the money. He's looking for a legacy as well. And both fighters are going to gross over 25, 30 million and maybe more between the two of them, purse-wise, with all the residuals and so forth. But this is the mega fight of the decade, Tom. Briefly, and we're going to analyze it in a moment more. Your thoughts. What do you think about all this?
Well, let me go and correct you a little bit from what I've saw. So, Bud, I guess it's really not about the money because Bud is only getting a guarantee of 10 million. But
I had read today that it's going to be more. So there's discrepancies about how much here altogether.
Well, he could make up to 50 million, they're saying, off the gate. But I honestly don't think he's going to get. While Canelo is on his second fight of the $400 million deal. So he's guaranteed to make 100 million.
And he gets what he wants all the time, Canelo Álvarez.
Yeah,
and he's fighting in Vegas, his favorite place, at Allegiant Stadium, not the MGM Grand or T-Mobile Arena, but it is the mega fight. This is the
it's going to be more fans. Yeah. It's going to be more people because it's a football stadium, so they should get more people. I don't know if they're going to sell out or not. Tickets are very expensive from what I'm hearing. So the gate should do well. So I'm very interested to see how much money they're going to make. But I just find it mind-boggling that you got one guy getting 100 guaranteed to another guy who's taking the big risk of moving up 2 weight classes, getting only 10 million guaranteed.
What's interesting here as well is, of course, the talk is, can Terence Bud Crawford, undefeated, handle 168 jumping up 2 weight classes? This has always been the question, but I always say, and you're going to read my column posted on latinosports.com probably later tonight, if not early tomorrow morning. Bud can always handle weight. Bud has always been more than 147, and even now 154. And that's been the question about him in this fight going in with Canelo. He'll handle it. Of course, they dehydrate these fighters. After the weigh-in, they're not weighing in at the weight they're going to weigh. But if Bud pulls this off, he is indeed considered the top pound-per-pound fighter. And whereas Canelo's legacy will exist, but not the way he wanted it, especially going to 175 that he couldn't handle with Demetrio Bivol a few years ago. So we got to look at this, analyze it step by step more in a moment. Others have been playing in on this. The boxing world, the non-boxing fan, will be tuning into Netflix, which will have a record audience, I'm sure. They will. If you're a Netflix subscriber, you're going to see the fight, whether you're a fight fan or not. And at the ballpark just last night, I spoke to a few members of the media and also got a Yankee coach's.
Sure. That's all right. You look good all the time. Go ahead.
Go along. You're going to see Justin Shackle, who does boxing commentating for The Zone, Matchroom, and a couple of Latino writers, Robert Rizzo, the editor of LatinoSports.com, Louis Rojas, the coach of the New York Yankees, former manager of the New York Mets. They gave brief opinions to me about the fight on camera. You want to roll them, Tom, one by one, and let's hear it.
Okay, we'll roll them, and one of our guests has arrived too. So
okay, let's do this first.
Okay, so here we go.
Let me know when.
It's Robert Rizzo, the editor of Latino Sports, my protege. Go ahead. Who do you like, Crawford or Canelo?
I'm going with Canelo Saturday night. I think he goes the distance, and all the scorecards lead in his favor. It's just,
really? Why?
I think the experience doubles up on him with Crawford, and the weight class is going up too. It's too much, and
well, I'll be writing about it for the website anyway.
Yes,
all
but
right,
I'm leaning Canelo. Don't count me to it.
All right.
All right, who we got?
Against Sugar Ray Leonard, going up in weight, the same thing, same style, and I think Crawford's going to do it.
So what's your prediction?
I think Crawford is going to, by the 10th round, he's going to knock him out.
Exciting fight, though.
First 3 rounds might be strategic, but then after that, everything's going to get loose. I'm just hoping.
Keep it in the ring.
I'll be in the ring. I just hope Canelo does his thing.
All right, Francis.
That's Francis. He's a writer in the Latino media. Who else we got?
Sure. That's all right. You look good all the time.
Go ahead.
Canelo or Bud Crawford tomorrow? Justin Shackle.
All right, so really tough. I feel guilty picking against either fighter, but I am going to go with the simple fact that Canelo is a natural 168-pounder. I'm going with the natural 168-pounder, not the guy who has to jump up 14 pounds against a generational great.
Terrific.
And finally, I think we do have Louis Rojas.
Yankee coach.
Yankee coach. A little difficult to hear because the acoustics of Yankee Stadium, it's noisy at batting practice time. But I did the best I could with him, and he's a good friend of mine. So go ahead, Rojas.
Who do you like, Canelo or Bud Crawford?
I'm going for Canelo Saturday
Why?
night.
Why?
I'm just like Canelo. I like the way he pressed, and he's one of the best out there. And so I'm gonna be rooting for him. We have a day game on Saturday, so hopefully I'm gonna have a chance to watch the fight.
Keep it in the ring. That's a good pick.
Well, there you have it, and I think it's split. And I think the boxing community, Tom, overall is split as to who's going to win this fight. I'm not going to give my prediction as of yet. I will later, and I'm sure you will. But that seems to be the sentiment, 50-50, and it's been that way since they announced this fight months ago.
Yeah, I think it's been up and down, and I think it's more intriguing than anything because they just want to see, can Bud handle the weight? And I think he can. I think it's a little bit overrated in this case. Bud's a big guy. They're about the same size. Bud is actually a little bit taller than him. It's just that he hasn't fought at the weight, and can he take the punches at that weight? That's going to be the big question. So,
and also, Tom, very important to look at Crawford's repertoire. Later rounds, 9 to 12, seems to be his thing when he gets much stronger. And he dropped Errol Spence, remember, twice in the 7th round to unify those titles at 147. It seems like many moons years ago. And Spence says he's coming back in the new year. And Álvarez has a different approach. He gets tired. He's been seen to getting more tired in the later rounds as he's going up in age. But Crawford, since the Ray Beltran fight in 2014, 11th round, he's gone 4 times. Mm-hmm. So you got to look at that as well.
Yeah. No, I definitely do. I mean, Bud likes to do capture the data in the early rounds, so he may give those early rounds up early. But in the Spence fight, it was a little bit different. He kind of, the first round he was all at him at Spence, and that second round he dropped him in the second round, and that was it from there. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends. I'm gonna break it down a little bit later after our guests come on, but it's very intriguing. Like I said earlier, it's intriguing to see how he handles the weight.
It's a very interesting. I'm telling you. People would hope this fight would happen right now. That's how anticipated this is. And one we're going to have two guests on the panel right now, and one's joining us right now who's an active pro fighter and a good one at the lightweight division, Alan Garcia out in Kansas. And he's known as Kid Kansas, by the way. Coming off a win on his own promotion just a week ago. Hey, Kid Kansas, this is a pleasure having you on Keep It in the Ring with Rich Mancuso and Tommy D. How are you, my friend? How are you, champ?
I'm good, man. How are you guys? Everything good?
Yeah, we're getting ready for Canelo and Crawford. I'm sure you are out there in Kansas. How's everything out there in the Midwest, by the way?
I don't know. I'm about to find out. I'm currently in Dallas. We're getting ready.
All right, you're traveling. You're in your car. You're a renowned travel. That's for sure. Let me tell everyone about Kid Kansas. He's 17-1, 12 knockouts. He lives in Ulysses, Kansas, a small town, but he's a boxer. He's a fighter, active. He's getting up there in the rankings as a lightweight, just coming off a win. And like Tom and I and so many others, Kid Kansas will be watching in anticipation Terence Crawford, Canelo Álvarez. Now, Kid, I'm going to call you Kid. I'm not going to call you Alan Garcia. Everyone knows you as Kid Kansas.
Okay.
How did you get that name, by the way?
It's actually pretty funny. When I first moved to LA, I was 17, and my coaches would always call me Kid, and I would get mad. I'd be like, hey, I'm a grown man, whatever. And one day after sparring, we were driving back to San Diego, and we were just talking about nicknames, and they were like, Coach G was like, what about Kid Kansas? And I was like, yeah, I like that, because she's always calling me Kid. And it stuck, man. And I always wanted to represent Kansas. So I think I'm doing a good job at that, and just keeping it in there.
Yeah, and you represent Kansas well, and you're also a very good fighter, by the way. And it was a pleasure meeting you at Top Rank's fight just a few months ago at the Garden. You are promoted by Bob Arum, the Hall of Fame promoter in Top Rank Boxing, and they know how to milk and propel a young guy's career, and they're doing that with you. Kid, Tom and I are going to ask you, as we wait for former world champion Lou DeVal to come on also, a few moments of your time, and thanks again for joining us. What are you looking for as an active fighter yourself? How do you see this fight transpiring on Saturday night in Las Vegas? What do you see?
I think I like to look at it from both perspectives. I like to say if whoever comes with a better game plan, I think Crawford's game plan is going to have to be to hit and not get hit. The true science of boxing. And I believe Canelo's going to have to hit him with a shot that changes Crawford's mind about engaging, just like he did with Charlo.
Yeah.
And so I'm leaning, all the odds are in Canelo's corner, but, we'll just see how it all plays out.
Have you met either one of these fighters in your career as of yet, outside the ring or whatever? Have you ever bumped heads with either one of them?
Yeah, I've actually been in Canelo's gym when I used to go spar Ryan's, and I fought on Crawford's undercard when he fought Avenesian in Nebraska.
Okay, so they're both, I think Crawford is, he's a very low-key, mellow guy, whereas, Canelo, he can be a showman at times if he wants to be, but he takes care of business. All right, Tommy D, welcome in again, and your turn to quiz or question Kid Kansas, his thoughts. He knows you as well.
Kid Kansas is the hardest working guy inside and outside the ring. The last time we saw him, he was helping move stuff around and everything, and we was joking with him, at the Xander fight. But Kid, I wanted to ask you, not about Canelo and Crawford, but as far as you fighting, being from Kansas, two guys I know that fought in Kansas, they had a rivalry, and I think they both went to the West Coast to train. I want to know if you know who they are, if you ever, seen them or work with them. Brandon Rios and Ortiz, weren't they from? They were also Kansas guys as well, right?
Yeah, they're from the same area that I'm from. Growing up, I would see them around here and there, or doing the shows and stuff. But I didn't really much like. I mean, I talk to them when I see them, but they were part of a whole different team, so I didn't really. They're a lot older than I am,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
was never. You know what I mean? But
I
no,
was,
I mean
yeah.
they they definitely made the right move for the career.
Kid, Kansas, kid.
I think they represented
Yeah,
Kansas well.
they're both interesting fighters. Many consider them the top two in the sport, megastars as we know, going to make a lot of money. Can you break down briefly what does Canelo have to do to win this fight, and what does Bud Crawford have to do to win this fight?
Canelo has to catch Crawford early and clean. You got to catch him early and clean and set the tone and set the pace that he wants. And Crawford needs to not get hit and can just box. I think he's got to box his way out until maybe the later rounds. If Canelo gets tired and if Canelo starts to fatigue, then I think he can start applying more pressure. But he has to be on his defense has to be 100% of the time.
Tom?
You don't think Crawford's good, but Crawford's not really known to really do that as much. I think you don't think his mindset's going to go in thinking that he's, just because he's a smaller guy moving up, he put on a lot of muscle. You don't think he's going to go in there and try to oppose his will on Canelo early, just to see what he can do. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like Canelo, his feet is not. Yeah.
I think they're gonna trade their shots and they're gonna see who has what. Just like.
Did we lose him, Tom?
That's on him. It's probably in a bad area. There he goes. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, he might have got a call too. So.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
We hear you now, kid. We're live. These things happen.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yeah. We hear you.
I can't hear you guys. What's going on, man?
You might have to go out and come back in. You probably got a phone call and it probably messed up the connection.
I can't hear you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, let me just write it in the thing. Yeah. Come out and come back in.
All right. Come back in, Kid Kansas.
Man,
log in, log out, and log back in, and we'll get him back. I'm also having what a way to come back. I mean, he's great to have, and we're going to get him back. And Louis DeVal's having a problem logging in, but we have to send him the link again. There you go, Kid Kansas. Are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I don't know why they keep trying to call me.
It happens. It's live, and these things happen live with technology.
So for the future, it's every time you get a call on the phone, it messes up the thing. You got to go out and come back in.
Okay.
That's probably what happened. I knew what it was when you had it. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, Tom, pick up the discussion again while I try and line up Louis DeVal. Is Kid there still, or did he leave again?
He might have got another call.
Yeah, he's a very popular fighter.
Yeah. No, but
he has a lot of fans. Here he is again. We'll bear with us, everyone, because Kid Kansas knows the sport. And
all right, man, we got it officially.
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah.
We can't lose the kid from Kansas, can we?
Man,
All right, Tom, pick it up while I try and line up Louis DeVal.
So he's trying to get Louis out. So as you were saying, like you think that the first round they're going to see what each other has as far as the power and stuff.
For sure, because Canelo sees it going the same way it did with Charlo.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that's the thing, and that was a good point you made up, because a lot of people thought that Charlo just came to get paid, but I think he just got caught with something early and was like, you know what, I know myself, and you know what, I'm not trying to get knocked out, and that's what could happen in this fight. Canelo may catch him with something, and but I think Bud's a different type of fighter, because Bud has a lot of dog in him. Bud is the type of guy that, and we've seen him in the past, when he gets hit, he wants to come back and try to get his back. Because I've seen Bud get rattled. I've seen him against Gamboa get rattled. Green Machine rattled Bud as well, and then he came back and stopped him. So, what do you think?
But I also do believe Bud's composure has grown. Look how composed he was against Crawford. and was just picking his shot, or not Crawford, against Spence, and was
Yeah,
just picking his shots. You know what I mean? Like I really do think he's gonna go into this fight being defensively sound, but obviously doing enough to win the rounds. You know what I mean? He's he's not going in looking for the knockout. I guarantee you, he's not, unless it's in the later rounds.
yeah. No, and
Canelo's a
I think I
dangerous
agree with that.
fighter, you know, and so that's why I think I'm sure they're putting together a great game plan, and just me as a fighter, I wish them both the best, and I can see it going either way. I mean, I would not be surprised if Bud won, and I would not be surprised if Canelo won.
Very interesting observation there. So,
Yeah, I
so
agree.
you might be looking at a 50-50 outcome. You're really not, from what I'm hearing, kid. You may not be so sure who's going to win this fight either, and the majority of boxing people feel that way. That's how good of a fight this could be. Question, kid Kansas. Do you think though that Terence Crawford will come on strong? Nobody's expecting an early knockout here. He's good from the 9th round on. That's been his repertoire as of late, as I said. Do you think Crawford will have that ability, even at this higher weight, to do that?
I I think I think Crawford, like I said, I think he's just gonna come in being smart, but he's gonna obviously try to see how his punches can rattle Canelo. And I mean, I don't know, man. This is boxing. All it
Yeah,
takes is one punch to change a fight. So we'll
for
see
sure.
what
What about
happens
what
or
about
what.
what about your opinion in the corners though? As far as like adjustments later in the fight, like I feel Reynoso's been good, but you've heard about the stories with Reynoso in the camp. But later on in rounds, I feel like Reynoso don't really make adjustments like maybe Bomac does with Bud. Like, do you think that the corners could play a difference in this fight as well, as far as like later rounds?
For sure, that's what that's what boxing is all about. Is every fighter goes into a fight with the game plan, and then you gotta adjust throughout the rounds. Like, and that's why you go back to the corners to adjust throughout the rounds. You know what I mean? But like, it also all just is based off of how the rounds are going. And I don't know, man. I'm just excited. I'm excited to watch this fight, not as a fighter, but as a fan.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's interesting because I've heard that from the fighters in the last few weeks that they're interested in watching this as a fan, as we all are. Kid Kansas, that's his opinion of it. How old are you, kid?
I'm 22 years old.
So do you know the history of the '80s era when you had those great fights with Hagler, Hearns, Duran, and Leonard?
Yeah.
Because I covered a lot of those fights back then, and this reminds me so much of that era with this fight. That's how good this could be.
I think yeah. Like I said, it's a great fight for boxing because it's some people are just looking at it as a money grab, but I see it as Crawford is genuinely going up and daring to be great because he doesn't have to do this, but he is. You know what I mean? He's making it happen.
Hmm.
He's putting his undefeated zero on the line. His O is on
Exactly.
the line. I think that's
And
worth
he
more.
doesn't
You
have
know,
to, but he's
yeah,
doing it for a legacy. Because imagine he does this and he cements it, man.
yeah,
Different, different there.
absolutely. Nobody's ever done that. 3-time undisputed in 3 different weight classes. I mean,
And
that's
that's why I'm not doubting him because maybe they see something that we don't see because, you know, like we say, he don't have to do this, but maybe he sees something that we're not seeing and he's going to capitalize off of it.
well, he
Well,
could
it's
be
good.
seeing he could be
It's the
seeing what I
money. The
see.
money. How about the money?
No, the money. Well, the money obviously plays a big part, but maybe Bud is seeing what I see, and I see Canelo his last few years not really stopping anybody, and is
Yep.
maybe saying that the power is not really as good as people think it is. Because Canelo, maybe he's dropped a couple of guys, but he hasn't got a knockout in I don't know how many years.
No, he's been going the distance. He even did that with Edgar Berlanga.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, that's why I don't see this fight going the knockout route at all. I think it's going to go decision. my opinion of it, and it might be a tightly contested fight in the end. And hope the three judges at ringside who've been announced already. I don't remember the names. That they don't.
Max DeLuca, Tim Cheatham, and Weisfeld.
Oh, those three have been in controversial fights before. So let's just hope it doesn't go that route. And it is in Vegas where that happens all the time.
And the referee is Thomas Taylor, who I think is good for this fight.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he does. He lets the fighters fight. Which in this case with these two, Kid and Tom, comment on this as well. Do you think that these two will go toe to toe at all, or will it just be an open, wide stance with the two of them?
They're not going toe to toe. Canelo's gonna try to push his offense without getting caught, and Crawford's gonna be defensively sound while landing his shots. Because it doesn't make sense for them to stand toe to toe when obviously one guy's a bigger man. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. Like I said, I could be completely wrong. Maybe they both come out swinging for the fences. Who knows? It's boxing. But, if you're asking me, I don't see that happening.
Do the winner of this fight, in your opinion, Kid Kansas, the winner of this fight, would you label that either Crawford or Canelo as the top fighter in the sport, based on who wins this?
No, I think they're both top fighters of the sport already. Without this fight, that's why this fight's being made, because they're both two legitimate fighters that are making noise, and they're fighting each other because they're at the top. They're at that top level. Do I think the winner becomes the face of boxing? I think the face of boxing is a huge opinion matter, but it could be. It could definitely be for a lot of people.
You're a Mexican American. Canelo Álvarez is Mexican. He's an icon. You go back with Julio Cesar Chavez. Of course, you know a lot about him, the Hall of Famer, the icon. Do you look at Canelo Álvarez as a Julio Cesar Chavez as far as iconic status?
Yeah, I think Canelo's already cemented his legacy, and if he were to retire right after this fight, win or lose, he'd be talked about 100 years from now, for sure, 100%.
Interesting observation from Kid Kansas.
I agree, but I personally don't think he's the best Mexican fighter of all time, or maybe maybe top three, but I think I have two guys that are better than him.
Who, Tom?
Well, I think
there's a lot of amazing fighters.
Salvador Sanchez is another one. I thought he was,
Marco Antonio Barrera, maybe.
Marquez,
one of them.
Antonio Barrera, there you go.
Marquez, Morales.
And that's what makes that's because everybody's got their own opinions on fight styles and the way fighters should fight and who does what good, and you know what I mean. Opinions are opinions, and you're allowed to have those, and that's what makes the sport of boxing great, because people are able to speak freely about it, and people can argue with it or they can't.
Kid Kansas, you're not in Vegas, neither am I, because I'm busy with baseball right now, unfortunately. I want to be there. I can't be. I hear the media credentials went wild, turned a lot away. There's going to be a record number of media people there as well. Where are you watching the fight Saturday night, champ?
I will be in Wichita, Kansas, watching probably at a restaurant or something, man. I don't know. Just definitely not in Vegas.
No, you'll be fighting in Vegas at some point soon. You will.
Yeah, well, I fought in Vegas at the Mandalay Bay last year.
But fighting for something big, really big. I believe you're on that path. You're on that path. You have a style that fans like. You like to go at your opponent. You got great footwork and you got great speed, and you represent Kansas real well. That goes with your name. Your last fight You came out victorious. What do you got coming up next?
I actually, like, right before we jumped on the call, I just got off the phone with Brad Goodman, and so we're looking for something later down this year, and if not the end of this year, then the very, very, very early next year. But I just fought. I feel good. I got the victory, the TKO victory against a tough opponent. That guy came to fight himself, and we were able to stop him. And so I'm just enjoying my time now. But I'm still in the gym. I'm still working out. And
I know you're on social media, very active. We see you training. How do fans reach you and keep in touch with you, Kid Kansas?
They just, people just hit me up on Instagram, and show their support, and I always try to get back to people, as many people as I can.
So you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram. I know you're active there, and you show a lot of your fight preparation and videos there, and you're keeping fans abreast of what you're doing, and you're on your way as a lightweight, and you're with Top Rank, so you'll get your opportunity, except they need a TV contract, a streaming contract. They don't have one right now. That's the only fallback, but they'll get something. They have too much of a success ratio not to do so. Kid Kansas, I'm not going to let you go right away because Tom and I have to do something I do on a week every week with a guest on Keep It in the Ring. That's a fact of the week. It's not trivia.
Before we do the fact of the week, I'm going to ask one question. So there's also somebody else on your team, I believe, also. Your strength and conditioning coach, Pedro. Is that your strength and conditioning coach? He's one of the best strength and conditioning. He has multiple fighters, and he's Boricua too. So so I just wanted to see if you were still working with my man Pedro.
Of course.
Yeah, he's really good, really really good. So I just want to throw that in there because I'm gonna try to interview him one day because he's really good. He works with Callum Walsh. I believe he works with Kane Sandoval. I like Kane Sandoval. I think he's a great fighter.
Yeah, man. Me and Kane be in there at the same time, strength and conditioning. Sometimes that's my boy, man. Yeah. Coach Pedro is there for a reason because he's good at what he does and he loves it. And you know what I mean. Whenever he's not overcrowded with work, he makes it to my fights, and he's in the corner with us as well.
Yeah, and to have that confidence and really admire your trainer and listen and do what you do, that makes you a champion. That's where it all happens. And having that respect and admiration for a trainer,
Yeah, the work he's working with Kane Sandoval, that's great work.
When are you coming to New York, Kid Kansas? Dinner's on me. When you coming?
I don't know, man. Well, I gotta make it back out there. I like New York. I had fun the last time.
I know you do. I know. You saw you roaming the garden that night at Xander Zayas' title win with Top Rank, so I know that. Kid, I got to give you the fact of the week. Let's get to it, Tom, and then let him go. He's been gracious enough to be with us as he's traveling right now. It's not trivia, it's a fact, so listen in. Get it? You don't? You don't. It's about Canelo Álvarez. We know he can punch, so can Terence Crawford. Now, the heavyweights, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, said this heavyweight they face had the most destructive punch. Some great heavyweights and Hall of Fame champions claim that this one heavyweight they fought had the most destructive punch. Can you take a crack at that?
Foreman.
No, it wasn't Foreman, but you're close.
Man, I don't know.
All right, I'll let Tom. Should I give him the fact?
I think I know who it is, but I can't get the name off the top of my head.
Who is it?
He never made world champion, but he was a challenger. Who I think.
How about Ernie Shavers?
That's who I was. That's who was.
The two-time champion with 70 knockout wins, 23 of those in the first round, with a 76.7 knockout ratio. Pretty good, isn't it?
I don't think he was world champion, Rich.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
What I'm saying. He wasn't world
but
champion.
He's in that category as one of the heaviest punches in boxing history, especially in the heavyweight division, Ernie Shavers. So remember that, Kid Kansas. You got a little bit of fact there this week.
I'll keep that one in mind, man.
All right, my friend. Hey, Kid Kansas, Alan Garcia, we look forward to seeing you again in the ring. I'll be talking to you in the next day or so. developing a feature on you for LatinoSports.com. It's always good chatting with you. I love chatting with you, and I look forward to meeting up with you again soon in New York or out your way if I ever get out there. Are you a Kansas City Royals fan?
Hey, man, if it's Kansas, I'm there, unless it's the Chiefs.
I know you like the Chiefs, that's for sure.
No, I don't like the Chiefs. I'm not.
Oh, wow. Oh,
no,
there you go.
I can't stand them.
I'm not going to get into that now on the program. You'll do that with Tom when he debuts with me, our new sports show next week. Kid Kansas, champ, keep it in the ring. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you in a day or so, all right?
Appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you.
Safe travels, my champion, and that he is. Kid Alan Garcia, Kansas, with top rank, 17-1, 12 knockouts. Look out for him. He's fighting again real soon. Up the way, Tom, on the ladder in the lightweight division. We're going to hear more and more about him. That was great. Great to have him. Now, we wanted Louis DeVal, the former light heavyweight champion, who's been on here at this program before, to log in. He just finally got tough connection time getting through, as well as not feeling too well. He had a hard day in the gym training. He's a great trainer in the Bronx at John's Gym, former world champion. But we'll get him on again. But interesting take, Tom, from Kid Kansas about Crawford and Canelo Álvarez.
Yeah, very interesting take. I think he took the easy way out. I'm not gonna lie. I think he took the easy way out. But he didn't really make a prediction. He saw it go multiple ways. For both fighters. He made a case for both fighters, which is what kind of the route I'm gonna take as well. But and a lot of people are doing it as well. I mean, there are some making both predictions, but he definitely made a case for both guys.
Yeah,
and I agree with him. I see it. It could go both ways. That's why I say it's not maybe not the most exciting fight that could be, but for me it could be one of the most intriguing.
Yeah, and you know what, Tom, we got to take a quick timeout break and do some more. We'll talk more about the fight, me and you, and then I'll do some pro wrestling and stuff like that. We got to take a timeout and pay one of the bills we have here, I guess, because it's Stream Punk Entertainment and the great star Scott Churchton that puts us on each and every week at Keep It in the Ring. That's Tommy D. I'm Rich Mancuso. We'll take a brief timeout. Back in a moment. Stay with us. I'm Rich. That's Tom. See you in a moment. Stay with us.
Yep.
We're back.
We're back.
You caught me off guard.
Sorry, yeah. I'm having technical difficulties here today too, which is weird. I'm not hearing the audio on the videos, which is weird. Are you hearing them?
I'm hearing them. Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't hear them. I see them playing.
Well, it's a live program, and I don't know if we're coming across to everyone tonight. I'm not getting any comments, and if you're out there, please comment. Tommy D and I would love to know. I'm Rich Mancuso. Keep It in the Ring live on my YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, String Punk Entertainment and Tommy D's channel, TD Sports Talk. We want your comments. Who do you think's going to win this fight Saturday? Canelo Álvarez or Terence Bud Crawford? As we're discussing, it is the fight of the decade. It's going to break some type of all-time gross records at the gate and on Netflix records there as well. If you have a Netflix subscription, there you go. You got it. And interesting how Netflix has really, really ramped it up in boxing with MVP and Jake Paul and this and whatever. Tom, the more and more I talk to people in the last few days about this fight, again, as I said earlier, my friend, 50-50. They're not sure. Even as of late this afternoon, I talked to some people at a Little League 9/11 ceremony in the Bronx, commemorative ceremony at Castle Little League Field. Some stoop boxing people there asking me my opinion on the fight, so I asked them. These are fans. They're not in the business. And they telling me, it's split. Some said Canelo, some said Crawford. And I believe this. I really, truly believe that Terence Bud Crawford will win this fight by decision, and it'll be a close decision. This is going to be, to me, of course, my predictions, you take them or leave them. It's up to you. I do believe this fight will go to 12-round distance. I wish it was 15. But, boxing will never go back to 15-round championship fights. I believe this will go 12 rounds, and it's going to be a very narrow decision for Terence Bud Crawford and make a lot of money, and wonder now if that does happen, if they'll have a rematch, and let's hope there's no controversy. So I believe Crawford wins it by decision. Now, what's your final pick?
I'm gonna cop out again. I can see it a decision for each, but I will say this. I agree with a lot of the points that are being made, because there are very various ways that can happen here, and I brought up the fact that Canelo's power may not be what people think it is, because the last few years he hasn't really shown that power. He hasn't been stopping anybody. He's dropped Munguia and he's dropped Berlanga, but he didn't really stop those guys. He kind of carried those guys too, So, Charlo didn't really fight after he got hit. He kind of, made sure he survived. So that may be a little bit of a different story. But I don't know. I think Bud taking this fight and risking his own and getting paid what he's getting paid, I think they truly believe and they truly see something in Canelo that they can capitalize on. And I don't think there's going to be a stoppage in this fight. I'll be very impressed if either or gets a stoppage. Right. If Canelo gets a stoppage but I would be very impressed, because both guys can handle their own. Both guys got good chins. Even though I've seen Bud get wobbled a couple times, he knows how to, compose himself and get back in the fight. I'd be very surprised. I think it could go decision, and then I just don't trust these judges. We've seen these judges. All three of them.
They've been in controversial. I don't have the breakdown of their championship fight records, these three judges, but I know all three have been in controversy over the last few years.
Yeah.
In close, hotly contested fights. And I wouldn't doubt that there'll be controversy here if it's a very close fight. And remember what I just said, Tom. If it's a very close fight. That's the thing. And I do believe it will be a very close fight. I don't see either fighter giving up here. I see both fighters testing each other early. And as I said, look for Crawford, even against Canelo Álvarez, to pick it up a notch, 7th, 8th, 9th round on. That's him. That's his style.
Well, it doesn't doubt me very much that this guy right here would pick Bud to win this fight. I mean, that's without being said. I knew you was going to do it, Rich, and I had to do it to you. Well, we knew that you was going to go with Bud. I mean, this picture explains it all.
He let me tell you something about Bud. I mean, I don't know him that well where I could say, we can go out to dinner together or whatever. But every time I've interviewed him one-on-one, he's been very gracious. Look, I'm not taking sides here. I can't do it. I won't do it. But I will tell you this. He's much easier to talk to and approach than Canelo Álvarez, which doesn't have a factor on my decision who's going to win this fight. Let's clear the air on that right away. All right? I'm just looking at the styles, and I'm looking at what can happen here in a fight of this magnitude. And look, when do we talk about a mega fight like this? Really, they have been talking about doing this fight for the longest.
You said that you got Bud.
Well, I do. I'm picking Crawford. That's my final
I'm going
decision.
with Bud. I'm not making an official pick yet, but I definitely rooting for Bud. I want Bud to win. This would be great.
And
if you win. Think about this. You're a lot older than me. Sorry, Rich. But
no, that's okay. I am much older than you. I'm much older than a lot of people.
We both seen guys fight in the ring, in our lifetimes that were great, and we said, "Oh, look at this! This guy had a moment." Floyd retires undefeated. You see these moments, but to say that we saw a guy win undisputed championships at 3 different weight classes,
right?
And the third one he went
in
up
the 4 belt era, right?
To do it.
Right.
I mean, we can say that we saw that in our lifetime. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, hopefully I'm still going. I can say, you know what? This guy, Bud Crawford, back in my day, because I do that. My kids joke with me all the time. I'm like, back in
we
my
didn't
day,
have a four-belt era back in the 1980s with that golden era of Hagler and Zoran and Leonard. We didn't have that four-belt era, title era. So Undisputed and all that stuff. It was a little easier to comprehend and dissect the titles back then. Here, this is for the Undisputed and Terence Crawford going for this type of record himself.
What I thought of also, and you interviewed him and he said this, and I think this would be pretty cool. What it should be, you said that there's no more 15-round fights and 12. They'll never go back. But remember, Keith Thurman said he was an advocate for 15-round fights for the super champion, for and maybe Undisputed. I gotta agree with Thurman. I think for a special fight like that, why not fight the extra 3 rounds? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't have to always do 15 rounds, but for Undisputed, which doesn't happen as much.
Those are the championship rounds. I've been advocating for that for the longest, but because of safety boxing issues, they won't do it. They won't do it. They just feel they won't do it. Thank you. Who's that? The Ortian boy?
This is Boy Cottage.
Thank you very much. He's a Met fan as well. Too bad they're not going to win the division against Phil. They might not even make the NL wild card.
No, I think they're going to make the wild card.
Talk more about that on the sports show coming up. We'll talk more about that when we close the program up in a little while. Get back to this real quick in a final point. I've seen some great fights over the years in my long career, and people have heard this from me from time to time. And I've been around the block to see these fights, and and some of them have gone to the final round, and a lot of them have ended up controversial. After all the hype and anticipation, and what I worry about here, more so, Tom, if it goes to 12-round distance as I expect, and if it becomes a very close fight, what I'm worried about is those boxing fans we need to have that are tuning in on Netflix, because Netflix is going to get those type of non-boxing fan viewers Saturday night. What I'm worried about, if this is a controversial decision, those fans we need to draw into this sport are going to just get turned off more and more. That's why we got to hope these judges at ringside are awake, alert, and do the right thing. And I'm worried about that in Las Vegas.
I'm worried about it too. I mean, I'm not thinking of it as much because I'm thinking about the fight and how the fight's going to play out. But it is in the back of my mind. It's like, the wrong guy might get the decision, and that would be brutal for the sport.
Yeah, brutal it is, especially a fight of this magnitude. Now, we close up on Crawford and Canelo. Real thoughts. I earlier, before we went into Crawford and Canelo Álvarez, which is the center of discussion. And who's commenting now up there about?
Shawalaya says guys nowadays aren't conditioned for 15.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Well, very good point. And Louis DeVal, who I wanted on tonight, brings that up all the time. The former world champion. Tom, I went over the fight calendar coming up, and one fight of particular interest that was made, and last week they had the press conference, and Fundora defending his title 154, if it's at 154, against Keith Thurman, who we know real well. I'm looking forward to that fight because this is the fight Thurman wanted before he got hurt.
Yeah, he was supposed to get the fight with Fundora, so I'm intrigued by it. I just don't know what Thurman we're going to see. He hasn't been very active. He hasn't really been, he stopped the guy, some journeyman from France, his last fight. But before that, he wasn't really stopping anybody.
No.
So, I mean, I'm intrigued because I want to see Thurman do well, and, go on and maybe be a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer right now. So with him beating Fundora, I think that solidifies it. So I'm very intrigued in that. Also intrigued in this undercard a little bit. There's a couple fights in this undercard.
There are,
that are pretty intriguing. It's pretty good too. You got a Caleb Walsh taking on Fernando Vargas Jr.
That's Saturday night. Yep.
Then you got a Christian Mabili taking on Lester Martinez. I think
another
that
one
fight
at
might actually.
168. Mabili's on his way.
Yeah, that could steal the show.
Yeah. Well, let's hope Álvarez and Crawford steal the show as everyone expects, Tom. Great analysis. And let's move on now briefly to pro wrestling, because that's what Keep It in the Ring does. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, on the return of Keep It in the Ring. We're here for another season and also a revamp, as you're going to see the program with some new elements in the weeks to come. Let's look at this WrestlePalooza and take a look at Michael Cole. Let's take a look at Michael Cole. There's been a lot about Michael Cole's role now. He's doing SmackDown and Raw. And that's because Joe Testador he's back on Raw a little bit. Depends on his ESPN college football duties. But Wade Barrett got some time off, they say. But WrestlePalooza, AJ Lee, CM Punk, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins. It was coming. AJ Lee is back. And, of course, ESPN with the new app. Did you get it yet?
No, I did not get it yet.
You know what? Between boxing and pro wrestling, you got to shell out a lot of money with these apps to watch what you want to watch. It's like a pay-per-view price every month.
Yeah.
And this ESPN app is very, very confusing. Very confusing. But that's how you got to watch WrestlePalooza. So that's why WWE, TKO Endeavor, Dana White involved. You know, that's why you got. It's just too much for the fans to handle compared to this. Tony Khan and AEW. You know, they're holding their own with very bad ratings, and they've been using ECW Arena, the 2300 Arena, as their home the last few weeks for Dynamite and Collision. There's Tony Khan with members of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, he's a co-owner with his dad of Jackson after their win on Sunday. A beaming, smiling Tony Khan, where, you know, they're getting ready for AEW All Out. Tom, All Out and WrestlePalooza competing. You think WWE is trying to get rid of AEW?
No, I hope not. I mean, even though, you know, it's not the same product, but you always, I think competition is good, right? So you need AEW to push WWE, if that makes sense, right? So I hope that's not the case, you know. So no, I don't think they're pushing them out. Maybe this is just like a one-time thing. You know.
But they have a big command on this in pro wrestling. WWE is winning.
Because they got NXT, they got everything. They got TV.
And they're on Netflix, you know, now. They got ESPN, USA Network. I mean, they're dominating. They got everyone. Cody Rhodes is going to return, by the way, at WrestlePalooza in some way. John Cena, Brock Lesnar, as Cena's retirement tour is winding down. I don't know where that's going to go. And the Usos against Breakker and Reed. So they really stacked up ESPN in Indianapolis September 20th for what they call WrestlePalooza. It's almost like a mini WrestleMania to them. WrestleMania 2027, year after next, Saudi Arabia.
That's insane. I can't believe that. They're not going to get no people in attendance.
No, in Saudi Arabia they will, but they won't have that 80,000 that they like to get. 2 nights of WrestleMania in 2 years, as that's what they're doing with their PLEs now. On ESPN, by the way, in Saudi Arabia. It doesn't belong there. I'm sorry. It doesn't belong there. But
I don't mind the UK.
They're going with.
I don't mind it if they do it in the UK, but you know.
They're going where the money is. That's what they're doing. Well, and you know what? The Turk guy has something involved with that as well.
I think, with TKO, of course.
Yeah, of course he does. All right, Tom, that's the Pro Wrestling Report this week. Maybe we'll get Robbie Rebel back on the program. I'm at war with him right now. That's another story. But maybe we'll have him back next week. He's been really busy every weekend wrestling all over the place. We'll see about that. I'm sure we'll get him back. We're going to take another brief time out, come back with more, wrap up Keep in the Ring, nostalgia, and a little more. That's Tommy D. I'm Rich Mancuso. Like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Social media scrolled at the bottom of the screen along with the fight calendar. Stay with us. We'll wrap up Keep It in the Ring after this brief time.
Petwell Clinic was built with busy pet parents like you in mind, providing walk-in preventative vet care, treatment for minor ailments, and chronic condition management. You remain with your pet throughout their visit, and all charges are clearly explained, so there are no surprises to our Paramus, Greenbrook, or Union locations. Or visit us at petwellclinic.com for more information.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man.
All right, that might be the last time you see that opening and closing for Keep It in the Ring, Tom. We're revamping, and we still don't have it. We're going to have a whole new exciting opening, maybe as of next week, as I am told. You know?
That's cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of that.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
No, I don't like it. I'm tired of it. That's why I changed.
You get tired of everything after a while.
Oh, yeah. I'm tired of baseball as much as I love it. I'm at that ballpark almost every day. I'm glad I didn't go tonight.
Oh, yeah,
I'm glad I did not go tonight.
Yeah.
They were frisking media in the press box.
Jesus.
And if they had done that to me, the Secret Service, I would have walked right out. I didn't go tonight.
Yeah,
plus the traffic nightmare and everything.
I wouldn't have wanted.
And plus, I don't know what the scores are. I have to check the baseball scores as we go along.
You would have had to go to the stadium hours earlier just to get
I know. I wasn't going to do that. Plus, we had to do Keep It in the Ring this week anyway. The revamp, the return.
Yeah.
So I gave up Yankees Tigers tonight. And who was there? I'm not mentioning it. People see my social media. They know how I feel.
It's your favorite
All right.
person. I thought he was like your top guy.
No, he's going to be doing a UFC event, MMA with Dana White, at the White House next year. And the fighters are going to be coming into the octagon on the lawn. They're going through the Oval Office to get in the octagon. Can you imagine that? That's what they're going to do. And we'll have more UFC news next week and the weeks to come as well. Time for nostalgia. We do it on the program every week. Let's look at this. September 11th, going back to 1892. Look at this. That's James Crawford, who knocked out John L. Sullivan in round 21 of their World Heavyweight Championship bout. 10,000 fans at the Olympic Club in New Orleans. Can you imagine this, Tom? Crawford broke Sullivan's nose in round 3, dropped Sullivan to his knees. The 21st round, he finished him off. Moments later with combinations. That was the last fight, by the way, for the great John L. Sullivan, who previously was undefeated under the rules of Marquis of Queensberry. That's what they called boxing before it became boxing in August of 1885. Look at how that's the old boxing pose, Tom. Isn't that great?
That's pretty sick.
I still do that when I want to get into a fight with someone. Put him up, Duke.
Unbelievable.
Put him up, Duke. That and September 11th, 1892. That's how far back we go. James Corbett knocking out the great John L. Sullivan in round 21. Can you imagine if Canelo Álvarez and Bud Crawford had a scheduled 20-round fight going this Saturday? I think fans would love that, but I think two fighters would be so exhausted they couldn't do it. I thought I'd show that this week. We do nostalgia every week. What do you think? Like, comment, and subscribe, my friends. My YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso, Tommy D's on TD Sports Talk, Spring Punk Entertainment. And let's take a look at going in the past. I want to do more of this, too, on the program. Me and the Hitman. Not Thomas Hearns, but Bret the Hitman Hart. Way back. Bret Hart was a superstar in WWF, known at the time, great champion, Intercontinental World Champion, feud with Shawn Michaels, as you know. Bret Hart, I lost contact with, but Tom, let me tell you something. Here's a guy that was so gracious and such a great technical wrestler, and not the way it is today. That was Bret the Hitman Hart, a healthy Bret the Hitman Hart. He's had some health issues over the last few years. Thank God he's still with us. Of course, the controversy going back with Vince McMahon, the spit in the face, because he got screwed in Montreal. We all know that story. Where do you rate Bret the Hitman Hart in pro wrestling as one of your all-time favorites?
I think he's definitely top 5. As far as the best workers in the ring, he's definitely top 5. I have a little bias towards a couple of guys. I like Shawn Michaels. I think he's a very good entertainer. He can sell. He can sell moves. That's a big word in wrestling, to sell. But as far as execution, he was the excellent execution of Bret Hart.
That's what he was.
He can actually wrestle.
He was.
And, he could put you over and he could sell. So,
and the sunglasses. He gave those sunglasses every time he came out of the ring or before to a fan at ringside. Young people in particular, they gravitated towards Bret the Hitman Hart. And thank you. Who just wrote a quote? Who just commented? Top 10 all-time best actual wrestlers, the top 5. That's something to look into. But I can tell you right now, one of my tops was Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, well, you have a little bias there, So the Paisan bias. So
got me involved in the ring, and that's something to look into on the program. We can dissect top 5 wrestlers, maybe top 10. They do it with boxing all the time. We might as well do it.
And I think it would be very fun. I think a lot of people would be interested in that. But no, Bruno Sammartino is definitely one of the greats. I think he's definitely top 10. Definitely top 10.
And yes, I am biased towards Bruno.
Of course, I'm biased against. I like Chris Jericho.
He might be coming back to WWE.
Yeah, that's a
strong talk about that. And when they talk about it all the time, it usually comes to fruition, meaning it's true.
He's like 52.
Tom, great hour or more. We dissected Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford Saturday on Netflix, the best we could out in Las Vegas. Next week, let's talk, though, about what's coming ahead for me and you here at Keep It in the Ring in the weeks to come. And also with TD Sports Talk, Tommy D, and me, Rich Mancuso, we're branching out. We're revamping. We're going to have a separate show. It might follow Keep It in the Ring. It might be on another night. We're not sure yet. We'll know for sure next week. We thought we'd have it going this week, but just too much going on with Crawford and Álvarez. We're going to have an all-sports talk show. Commenting like we do here. Highlights, this and that. MLB. At first, I won't be a part of this program as much as I would be here at Keep It in the Ring because I'm going to be at the ballpark. But I'll be reporting from those ballparks. Citi Field or Yankee Stadium or somewhere else. And of course, NFL. And you'll give predictions because I know you're big on that. You're big with fantasy football and picking the winners for the week. Everybody does that. They talk a little NBA coming up, NHL coming up, even soccer, MLS that I cover here in New York with NYCFC. So, Tom, that's going to be a nice, interesting venture, and we indeed want fans to tune into that live as well.
Yeah, I think, we do a sports show. I try to do one every week and talk about, we do football. I didn't do much baseball. But I think the premise is that, Rich has been doing this for over 40 years, not just boxing and wrestling. You're actually at the ballpark. So we want to use that and to everybody's advantage. We want to share some of the, the work that you've done on the field. This is not TV. We're talking on the field, actual events.
Right.
So that's what we want to try to incorporate. And then we'll bring in some people and we'll talk football. We have Steve Serby who could talk football. But then we have some guys from TD Sports Talk as well and the Sports Talk Network where we could come in and interact and speak about, the recent weekend games and stuff.
So basically, it's going to be your baby at the beginning, okay? And then we'll grow with it till it gets older. Like me.
Yeah, but we want to feature what you do. So we all have our opinions, but I think we need to feature, even if it's a picture with, like in this case, look, a picture with you and Bret Hart, but like you could bring up a picture of you with somebody in the past, player, or maybe if you got a video or something like that.
Yeah, and I got plenty of that.
Yeah.
I got plenty of that.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah, we'll be doing that, and we want everyone to tune in and comment. And it'll be on my YouTube channel here, Rich Mancuso with YouTube, Keep It in the Ring. Like, comment, and subscribe. And, of course, TD Sports Talk and your YouTube channel and all the other outlets you have. And String Punk Entertainment. Of course, we'll pick it up. Looking forward to that. And it's coming, and probably coming next week. We talked about it before we took our hiatus for the summer, but it's coming. We just have to get some odds and ends finished up, sponsors, and, with String Punk. It's not easy doing this. People think it's very easy. You can just put the camera on your computer or your phone at home and just do a show. And we don't want to do a show that's boring, and God, hopefully I'm not boring for an hour or more every week here.
Yeah, we can do something quick. We make our predictions.
Yeah.
And we can have fun with it.
Yeah, I think we will. And so tune in, go to social media, check the channels, and also with Tom as well. Where they can reach you, Tommy D? Where do they reach you?
Well, you can reach me at TD Sports Talk. We got a bunch of things going on. We also do sports predictions as well as boxing. And tomorrow we got special events tomorrow going on. We got a bunch, not a bunch. We got a good handful of fighters coming on and doing some predictions as well. Former world champions, current prospects. It's going to be fun. I'm collabing with another with another YouTube channel for tomorrow, around 8:30 to about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And before that, I'll have a quick show with two former fighters, and then we'll have the football predictions later on.
Well, that's what we like to do.
A lot going on.
We like to collaborate and work together. That's what we got to do, and we do it. Tommy D and I do that, and we do it the best we can. And next week, with baseball season winding down, I'm scheduled to be in Baltimore, Camden Yards, Yankees, Orioles. So that means one thing: either I could, it's going to be keeping in the ring, so I'm not going to call in from there, but or log in. But that means Tommy D once again has the keys and will host the program.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely recap the boxing events. Keeping in the ring will definitely be Thursday.
You'll have a lot to talk about, and maybe I'll interject as well, depending where I am down at Camden Yards to analyze this big fight we're all looking forward to seeing Saturday night on Netflix. Undisputed 168 upper grabs. Terence Crawford seeks to dethrone Canelo Álvarez. And we wish it would happen now, but that's going to be a good fight. And one other final comment. What do we have here, Tom?
He says that would be dope post to pick, and people just speak on it and memories and whatever comes to mind. That's a good.
Thank you very much.
You can do that's a great.
Thank you very much. And we want to thank you all for tuning in this week live at Keep It in the Ring on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Do like, comment, and subscribe. And with Tommy D, my esteemed colleague and become such a great friend, he puts this program together better than I would. He helps me a lot. And I don't know how to thank him. I'll say this every week. I don't want to kiss your ass. I won't do that. However, he won't let me buy him dinner either.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
We got to bring the Rebel back too. I'm sorry. So being that you're not, I might.
Well, that's your job because he has a lot of makeup piece to do with me. So that's your job.
But it's a good thing.
All right?
He's busy because in his line of work, wrestling independent, it's not easy getting those jobs to do. So that's pretty good. He's been active, very active of late. The last
so Robbie Rebel is probably asleep, not watching. Tommy D will be in touch before I am. Tom, great job. Thank you. Thank Kid Kansas for his insights on Canelo Álvarez and Bud Crawford this Saturday. Enjoy the fight, my friend. Where are you watching it?
I'm not sure. I got invited to go watch it, with Socrates and another friend of ours. But I'm not gonna lie. I want to be home because Notre Dame plays that night.
No, okay. I like the Fighting Irish as well. I don't blame you. Okay. Next week, my friends, Tommy D should have the keys. I might tune in. I don't know. We'll keep in touch. Social media, XRing786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. My content on LatinoSports.com. Always great to be back and look forward to talking to you again next week live on the program, whether I'm here or not or Tommy D has the whole show. As always, thank you for watching. God bless. Be good to each other, and most of all, stay well. And Tom, as we always say, until next time, keep
it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring, everyone. Thank you for watching. Have a good night and a good rest of the week. Take care.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no.